We're already starting to see more major cracks in the economy as massive Fortune 500 companies announce that they're laying off thousands and thousands of workers. Take a look here. Yeah, massive companies like Lyft, Gap, First Republic, Disney, Amazon, all laying off thousands of people. In fact, companies like Lyft laying off a quarter of all of their workforce. Yeah, Disney's second round of layoffs, reporting more than 4,000 people will be laid off here yet again. Quote, a third will take place, quote, before beginning of summer. Will complete the 7,000 cuts Disney announced in February, according to a memo from CEO Bob Iger. Amazon's cloud computing and human resources division on Wednesday faced layoffs after the company announced they're going to lay off 9,000 more people. Yikes. This comes after they already announced that they're going to be shrinking its employee count by 27,000 overall this year. Lyft announced that they're going to be laying off about 25% of its overall workforce. Not good. The company Dropbox is also laying off about 16% of their entire workforce. And First Republic Bank, a bank impacted by the recent banking crisis, indicated Monday it will also lay off 20 to 25% of its workforce. And as you can see here, a lot of companies struggling, just like a lot of people are struggling right now. About 2/3 of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, and the interest rates are really starting to take effect now. And as you can see here, companies are feeling it as well as they start to lay off a lot of people. And interest rates could be going up here yet again very soon, as the Fed's going to be meeting here in just a little bit over 48 hours from now. We're going to be knowing if they're going to be raising interest rates here yet again. And if they do, this is probably going to make the companies lay off even more people. If you remember here, we showed it on our channel here when we had Senator Elizabeth Warren on grilling Chairman Jerome Powell. She said directly from Chairman Jerome Powell's notes that raising of interest rates was going to lead to 2 million job losses. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. Massive companies laying off people because of them raising interest rates. Are they going to do it again? Well, take a listen here to Wharton Professor, School of Business, on what he thinks is going to happen. Take a listen.
Another decline. We've now had a year of decline. In fact, it's the biggest decline in 85 years for that broad money supply data. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's still got to be a concern for the Fed. Now, next week, what I'm looking for, I think there's two things I'm looking for. First of all, whether your good friend Austan Goolsbee is going to dissent or not, Joe, because he's talked about keeping rates the same. But I think the rates are definitely going to go up a quarter point. What I'm looking at is the statement that goes with it. I'm looking at, is Chairman Powell going to say it is likely that we pause now and assess what the economy is going to do, or does he really say, oh, and there's more work to be done on inflation? And I think the tone on that balance is going to be very critical to how the market is going to move next week.
It's interesting. I really hate to say that Austan seems really reasonable and like a voice of reason, but I think that's right. But that would be something if he were to dissent. Are you expecting that? Yeah. I don't expect that. I mean,
there has not been a dissent.
One and done, yeah. Huh?
Well, I mean, there's not been a dissent for almost a year and a half at the Fed, which I found remarkable during one of the most tumultuous monetary periods in history, that you would not have opinions one way or the other. It's just like everyone falls in line, nodding their head on what Chairman Powell does. I would like to see some independence here. So I'm rooting for Austin to say, hey, I think we can stop now and not get a quarter point. I mean, you know, it's mostly just a statement. Hey, you know, I'm not going to go with the crowd 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's interesting that he kind of notes that there. Nobody is kind of gone against Chairman Jerome Powell there, the Fed Reserve Chairman, and everybody votes the same way with him. There's no difference of opinion there. It's almost kind of like a dictatorship. And will we see interest rates rise yet again? Remember, every time they raise interest rates, it raises the interest rates on credit cards, car loans, used car loans, new car loans, leases, home mortgage rates, everything. People that go to refinance their homes have adjustable rate mortgages. Credit cards are the big ones. The average credit card rate is over 20% now, with the highest ones being over 35% now. And they're going to raise interest rates here yet again. And remember, all this raises the debt on our government as well. Our government's paying over somewhere around $1 trillion a year in interest alone. And every time they raise interest, it costs our government more money in interest. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments, as they could be doing this here yet again, putting all of us into a deeper hole. But they say they have to keep doing this to try to bring the cost of inflation down. But on the other side, I kind of feel like anything that is interest rate sensitive, like the housing market and cars and stuff like that, it's already tapped out. You know, and my thoughts are like, if you raise interest rates, is it going to bring the cost of eggs down? Is it going to bring your electricity bill down? Can you go to your landlord and say, hey, they raised interest rates, can you lower my rent payment? Your landlord's going to look at you like you're silly, because is it going to lower inflation on your grocery bill? I mean, can you go to the checkout lady and say, hey, can you lower the price on this bread because they raised interest rates? It's like it brings inflation down on some things. Like the housing market has cooled a little bit because people aren't buying homes as much because the interest rates are so damn high. But the homes cost more in a sense because the interest rates are so damn high. It's just like but it doesn't lower the cost of food. It doesn't lower the cost of your rent, doesn't lower the cost of electricity, it doesn't lower the cost of gas. So it's kind of almost ridiculous to a point that they're going to continue to raise interest rates, because it's already done what it's intended to do with things that are interest rate sensitive. And things that aren't interest rate sensitive, like bread and eggs and gasoline and your rent and mortgage payment, it doesn't affect those things. But yet it's just continuing to hurt people, and even our government that's paying interest on all this debt. It's not going to affect that stuff. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell icon. And thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. The US and China are on the brink of war. You can click here to see that video. And millions of people will be affected here by this decision. People on Social Security, SNAP, and lots of benefits. Click on this video here to see that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.